So a lot of things happen for Dogecoin today. In this video, I'll look at all of them one by one before I talk about something really interesting that Elon Musk did recently. So first of all, some incredible news came out for Dogecoin adoption. So the food delivery giant Uber Eats announced that it is accepting Dogecoin and Shiba Inu for its payments. According to a blog post by BitPay, since Uber Eats does not yet accept direct cryptocurrency payments, this method of payment is exclusive to BitPay gift cards and BitPay cards. Other cryptocurrencies supported by BitPay include Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and XRP. Also, we have to remember that the adoption of cryptos is happening at a really fast pace. Recently, luxury watchmakers like Tag Heuer, Hublot, and Breitling announced that they are accepting cryptos via BitPay. In addition to luxury goods and food deliveries, Panini America, a company that specializes in sports collectibles, has also announced that it'll be accepting Doge and Shiba Inu via BitPay. And then there was Studenovsky Exotics, a car rental company from San Diego that also announced its acceptance of Dogecoin. Also, according to the latest data, Dogecoin and Shiba Inu are up 30% in network activity, and that's in addition to the new addresses constantly rising. Also, recently at a conference, Elon Musk talked about his support of Dogecoin. He said, "I just know a lot of people who are not that wealthy who, have encouraged me to buy and support Dogecoin. I'm responding to those people." Moving on, according to a recent report, the SpaceX Doge 1 mission is still very much on. So in 2021, Musk, as part of his support for Dogecoin, revealed that SpaceX would be unveiling the Dogecoin-themed lunar mission in 2022. But then he didn't talk about it even once after that. So a Twitter user Michael Sheets said that GEC paid SpaceX an undisclosed amount upfront to launch Doge 1, bound for lunar orbit. Reed declined to provide photos and, by way of an update, emailed that the satellite is beyond design stage. Then a spokesperson said the company is targeting IM-1 launch by December, with a more specific window to be released 3 months prior to launch. So basically, the big announcement might come in August, which is 3-4 months before December. And I'm expecting a surge around that time too. Before I talk about some more important data for Dogecoin, let's look at some data for Bitcoin. United States' second-largest power company Duke Energy is reportedly studying Bitcoin mining with plans to integrate the activity into its demand response strategy. Before publishing the final report, a rep of the company stated that the company would leverage its microgrid supplied with different energy sources to conduct test runs involving several levels of miners. According to him, the company has already developed a demand response report for the winter peak, and the focus is now on Bitcoin. At the same time, the official stated Duke Energy grid already hosts several Bitcoin miners on a small-scale basis. Also, there are several states in the U.S. like Texas that are exploiting the idea of demand response as part of improving power supply and minimizing outages. Basically, this will be a really big deal for Bitcoin and the entire crypto market, as it'll lead to an even wider adoption of cryptos. Also, we know that Bitcoin had been moving in the opposite direction of the United States dollar since the beginning of 2022. But now, this inverse relationship is more extreme than ever. The weekly correlation coefficient between Bitcoin and US dollars dropped to 0.77 below zero in the week ending July 3, making it its lowest in 17 months. Also, Bitcoin's correlation with the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite reached 0.78 above zero in the same weekly session. Bitcoin has lost over 60% in 2022, while Nasdaq's returns in the same period stand around minus 29.72%. On the other hand, USD has excelled, with its US dollar index hovering around its January 2003 highs of 105.78. Currently, the traders anticipate the Fed to raise the rates by 75 basis points in July. An early rate cut could happen if the inflation data cools down, thus limiting investors' appetite for the dollar. Also, the dollar's ability to continue its rally for the rest of 2022 could be hampered by a classic technical pattern. Basically, the DXY double-top pattern is partially confirmed due to its 2 consecutive highs and a common support level of 103.81. As a rule of technical analysis, the double-top pattern could resolve when the price breaks below the support and falls by as much as the structure's maximum height. And this is exactly what has happened. And this would of course be great for the crypto market. Also, as I discussed earlier, Bitcoin's NVRVZ score has also fallen into a range that has historically preceded sharp, long-term upside retracement. This on-chain indicator predicts that Bitcoin could bottom at around 15.6K in 2022 itself. Talking a bit more about the inverse correlation, let's look at what Peter Brandt, the longtime gold bull and anti-Bitcoin analyst, said. He shared a US dollar index chart which showed that the US dollar is breaking through the previously existing resistance. And as I just said, Bitcoin and the US dollar are negatively correlated right now. Now, the main reason behind such a trend is simple. Investors choose less volatile assets whenever the US currency is strong and prefer making slow and steady income from tools like bonds rather than exposing themselves to risk assets like cryptos. But there's also some bad news that came out today. And I think that this could worsen the sell-off that we've seen recently. The Bitcoin addresses in loss have hit an all-time high amid the 18K price target. According to Glassnode, the weekly moving average number of unique Bitcoin addresses now at a loss has reached a new all-time high of 18.8 million on July 3. Also, popular analyst Matthew Hyland noted that the Bollinger Bands indicator was signaling that price conditions would soon become more erratic. Now let's look at some pretty interesting news for Tesla that could have some major repercussions for Bitcoin. So, according to a Sunday report published by The Telegraph, Tesla is likely to report an impairment loss of roughly $440 million in its upcoming quarterly report. Now this could have several implications, specifically for Bitcoin. We know that Elon doesn't own a lot of Dogecoin, but it's a fact that he owns a lot of Bitcoin, which as we know lost a lot of its value. So I'm assuming that a lot of this loss occurred because of the crypto crash. And this has huge implications because even if Bitcoin's price rise later this year, Elon wouldn't think of it as a really strong asset he should have in his portfolio. And so I think he could start selling his Bitcoin later this year, and of course he'll also make a huge announcement about it. But then, some really good news came out for Bitcoin. It's been just revealed that the Bank for International Settlements will allow banks to keep 1% of their reserves in Bitcoin. We know that a lot of banks across America, including the largest bank in Mexico and one of the biggest in the United States, are very bullish on crypto. And these banks do have the bandwidth to hold a lot of crypto. So this 1% rule could be really bullish for Bitcoin, as we'll see a lot of these big banks starting to hold Bitcoin in their reserves. This could also mean that these banks will start recommending Bitcoin as a safe haven to their institutional clients, which would prove to be very bullish for Bitcoin. Now coming back to Dogecoin, according to CoinGlass data, roughly 57% of Dogecoin traders on Binance Futures are net long. The long-short indicator reflects the sentiment of most retail traders. This just means that over 57% of retail investors are still very optimistic about the future of Dogecoin. Overall, the Dogecoin long to short percentage in the last 24 hours remains at 49% to 51%, with a ratio of 0.94. This might suggest slight equality between bears and bulls, indicating consolidation. Also, according to analyst Justin Bennett, sizable downward moves are coming for Dogecoin and VeChain. He said, "Textbook retest from Doge following the breakdown the other day. I still think 5 cents and potentially even 3.5 cents are in play." Looking at blockchain-based supply chain management system VeChain, he said that after VET failed to sustain its breakout from an inverse head and shoulders pattern, a bearish retest of lower prices is in the cards. Also, Martian Manhunter, a large BNB whale who holds 40 million XRP, has just bought 18 million Dogecoins at current value. His purchase was valued at more than $1.3 million. Now let's look at Dogecoin price for a minute. It's still in its consolidation phase, trading sideways between 6 and 7 cents. We need to pay close attention to this coming week's trading sessions, as they could prove to be absolutely vital for Doge's trajectory in July. Please let me know about your predictions in the comment section below. And this is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you like it, please share it with your friends and family. Also, please like this video and leave a comment about your predictions for the crypto market. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.